So today we're going to talk about the Dream for All program that's just been put out by CalHFA, CalFHA. It's a loan program from California that's helping buyers get homes with 20% down. So you've heard this on the news. You probably heard a lot of information on it. So today we're going to have David Hernandez from Loan Depot kind of give us the lowdown on this. What's the questions we have on it? We have a few questions he's going to answer. I'm sure several of mine before I even ask them. But what's the catch? This sounds too good to be true. So David, let's go ahead and just get right into it. Go ahead and why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and what your background is, and then we'll get into some of the questions about the Dream for All program.
Sure. Thank you for having me on, first of all.
Of course.
And so I've been with Loan Depot for coming up on 3 years. I've been in the mortgage industry since 2004. So I've got a few years behind me and I've gone through the tough times in the past. And so it looks like we're there now.
Yeah.
And so, but for right now, this Dream for All program seems to be a great program for first-time home buyers, especially. And if we recall, the definition of a first-time home buyer is somebody who hasn't had a primary residence in the last 3 years.
Okay, that was going to be one of my questions. That's good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, good. No, please. Yeah. No. Please.
Okay. And then the other thing is, even if they have a rental or two, it doesn't matter. If they don't have a primary residence, then they are considered first-time home buyers.
Really? So, I'm going to back you up a second. You said a rental or two already.
Yes, two. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many they have, as long as they can that they've been paying rent for the last 3 years.
I see. Okay.
Then they will be considered as a first-time home buyer.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's really good. So, I guess we could get into some of the qualifications right up front. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself either, but so what's the maximum loan amount? Let's start there. Like, what's the maximum a buyer could use for this type of program?
Well, they're going to go by county limits. So whatever the county limits, and obviously dealing with the various counties, why they have different limits. Now, this will be a conventional product. No FHA will be used.
Okay.
So it'll be strictly conventional. So they have to go by Fannie Mae guidelines, whatever it tells us. We have to run DU and get an accepted DU approval in order to proceed with this.
Okay, so like conforming loan limits then, essentially, like whatever we see, because we see those published every year, right?
Correct.
Okay, because I think I have those somewhere here. So like Monterey County, I believe it's 915,400 is the last number. Let's see, Santa Cruz County I didn't jot down, but it's essentially going to go for each county. So maybe I'll put a link after this. I'll put a link to where those are at.
Okay.
But that gives us a good idea, right? Roughly for Central Coast area, we're going to be hovering around the $900,000 range.
That is correct.
Qualify to. So now, now I know you have to be a certain window or a box to fit into these programs. What's the maximum income I can have, right? Because I might max out on income in order to qualify for this. So is there like a minimum and a maximum income that I need to have to qualify for this program?
Yeah, those income limits are also county specific. So we'll have to look on there to see what they are. Okay. And so that's what it's going to be based on.
And those are going to be the same as the conforming limits?
That is correct.
Okay, so those I do have, actually. I did jot those down. So Monterey County was $178,000 annual income.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. 178 for annual income.
Okay.
Does that sound about right? Hopefully I pulled the right numbers. So, and then Santa Cruz was like 236, Santa Clara 300.
That is correct.
And SLO County was like 216, San Luis Obispo County.
Yes.
So, but we'll put the links in down below. Also, after this is done, we'll put that in there for us. But anyway, that gives us an idea of who might qualify for this, right? So I wanted to get that up front, so that way somebody knows right off the bat, like, okay, I can shut this off and I don't need to listen to the rest of it. But maybe
Right.
you should listen to the rest of it because maybe you know somebody that could benefit from this program, right? So,
Mhm.
so how long is this going to last? Like, are these one of those programs where they have limited funds? How does that work?
That's exactly correct. Now they're starting out with 380 million, and that they estimate will last maybe 4 to 6 months. So
Hmm.
we got a really small window in order to take advantage of this program.
Okay,
Now,
good.
so they had actually allotted for double of that, but the
Hmm.
state budget office decided to cut them in half. So that's what we got.
Okay, okay, good, good. So, so essentially, someone's getting these funds. They qualify for them, and they get this 20% down. So, what's the catch? I mean, because is it 20% at like 10% interest, like a hard money loan that we hear about in the industry, or what is this? Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. Well, with the interest, they still haven't decided as of yesterday what the interest rate's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
However, by the 27th of March, a few days, they'll let us know all that information.
Mm-hmm. And is
So
that the interest for the loan that you're borrowing, or interest for the 20% that they're not
that's
sure
for
of
the loan. The
for the
for the
loan?
money, yes, for the money that you're actually borrowing
Mm-hmm.
for down payment assistance,
Mm-hmm.
that has 0% interest for
What?
30 years.
0%? Okay, so
Zero.
wait a minute. So I'm borrowing let's just pick 500,000.
Right.
I'm getting a loan for 500,000. The government's going to lend me 20% of that. That's $100,000, and I
Yes.
get to have that for 0%.
0% for
Okay,
30
wait, I got to go
years.
through my notes. Now this is interesting. So, so tell us a little bit about how that works, because there's obviously got to be a catch, right?
There is a little catch, but it's all in the favor of the buyer.
Hmm.
So what I mean by that is that that loan is a what they call an equity share loan, meaning,
Hmm.
like for example, they buy it for 500,000, and then in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, it goes up by 200, the value of it.
Huh.
So the equity I'm sorry. It's not the equity that they're going to be sharing. It's they're going to share the appreciation. It's called a
Okay.
share appreciation.
Hmm.
So then it's the appreciation. Let's call it 200,000. So
Right.
CalHFA actually wants 20% of that
Ah.
appreciation, not
Okay.
the equity. As we know, the equity if the customer borrower decides to pay it down, that's his equity. That's his
Okay.
equity. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
the
So it's
appreciation.
just I bought my home for 500,000. I sell it 10 years later and it's now worth 700,000, just to pick a number.
Mhm.
They want, of that $200,000 profit that I've made, they want 20% of that.
That is correct.
So I've made 200,000, 20% of 200,000 is going to be $40,000. So
Correct.
they're going to take 40,000 of that
Yeah.
$200,000 profit. Okay.
That's if you sell your property or
Hmm.
refinance it outside of CalHFA.
Okay.
CalHFA, let's say in a couple 2 3 years the interest rates go down where
Hmm.
it's beneficial to the client.
Hmm.
CalHFA will refinance that loan, for their mortgage, one time offer,
Oh,
and they won't disturb the down payment assistance.
wow.
If Okay, so
That's
then
yeah.
if they, however, refinance outside of CalHFA for whatever reason, then the entire loan, the 100,000 plus the appreciation becomes due. Okay,
Okay.
so
Got it.
so it behooves them to stay with CalHFA and refinance the one time with them. The interest rates have to drop to a ridiculous amount for them to for it to make any sense
Hmm.
for them
Hmm.
to refinance somewhere else.
Okay. Right. Right. So, um, let's say they go outside the pro. So in essence, if they stay within the program, you can refinance without messing with the payoff of the original $100,000 20% down they gave you.
Correct.
That stays intact, 0% interest on that.
Correct.
Um, but if you refinance it with like Loan Depot or XYZ company, let's say,
Mhm.
or Bank of America, whatever bank
Right.
outside of the program, then
Correct.
you got to pay it. Everything comes due. right?
Everything becomes due.
Everything comes due.
The 20% of shared appreciation plus
Ah,
100,000
so
that
if
they
I
are
re
receiving.
so if I refinance later, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if I refinance later, then I'm gonna the value at the day I refinance is the appreciation share that they're gonna take at that
That is
point.
correct. That
Ah,
is correct.
okay. Well, it makes sense, because
Mhm.
it's you're paying it off essentially, right?
Yes,
If you're going to refinance it.
correct.
Okay, okay. Well,
A
that's good stuff.
Yep. A couple more points that I wanted to make
Hmm.
is that CalHFA has decided to arrange this program where that 20% is there. If they don't have a lot of funds for to finish off the loan, like for example, this is down payment, as you know,
Hmm.
there's
Hmm.
at least a 3% cost for closing costs and what have you.
Okay.
So they could actually split that up to say, let's say they can put 17% down and they can use 3% of it for closing costs. See, so
Ah,
really,
okay.
so they can split that 20% down. It can be used.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. So essentially, someone is using this program to do a zero down. So I'm not going to I don't have to put a 3.5% out of my pocket into it.
That is correct. That is correct. Isn't
Wow.
that amazing? Yeah.
Okay, so do I have to have excellent? This sounds like I have to have excellent credit to be able to afford this, or how do they do that, or is it just oh, what's the credit scores? Any idea on that? Did they give you any information on that?
Yes, 680 and above, they will go lower on the lower tier of the income levels, uh,
Okay,
and but they'd like to have it at 680 and above.
okay. So 680 credit score, generally speaking,
Yeah.
gets you the zero down program for this.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's incredible. So
Mhm.
is it's so this is a conforming loan or just a conventional? So essentially, if I have had a job for a couple of years, good credit, and my credit's over 680, do I have to have a certain amount of savings in the bank to qualify for this, or is it going to be based completely on the credit and debt to income ratios?
That is what it's going to be based on. And the higher the
Wow.
ratios, they will allow.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The higher the credit score, they will allow a little higher ratios.
A little more
But
debt. Okay.
yeah, so they
All
top
right.
off at 50 with above 700 FICO scores.
Wow. Wow.
So it's a great program. I really would like to see a lot of folks take advantage of this because it's
Sure.
not going to last long. Remember, this California is a big state,
Hmm.
and the funds will dry up really.
I gotta admit, the image of the Oklahoma land rush is coming to my mind. Of like, this is, I mean, everybody that's, I mean, a lot of us, in California, we work agents, we work with buyers that are struggling to afford to stay here. So I realize the intention of the program. So yeah, I could see there's gonna be like a mad dash. What do you think the response times are going to be on the loans to get these processed? Are we going to see if I'm a seller and I see one of these loans come across my desk from my agent?
Right.
What should I be thinking as a seller? Am I going to be looking at instead of a 30-day traditional escrow? Am I looking at a 45 days, 60 days? I mean, is CalHFA ready to go with this, or do you think it's going to be a little bit of a delay?
There won't be any delay. This is going to be considered like any other conventional loan or
Huh.
FHA loan or whatever,
Uh-huh.
but it's going to have a 30-day close, and we'll be good to go. So
Okay.
yeah, so there won't be any hiccups, nothing that is going to hold up the loan for any reason. So
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent. Well, that's beautiful. I mean, I wish that I had time to like announce that we were going to set this up today so that more people could be on with questions. But I do have your number scrolling across the screen here in the video. So if
mhm.
anybody has any questions, please reach out to David. You can DM me as well on Instagram or whatever platform you're watching this on. Go ahead and DM us, and we'll get you going. I would assume that it'd be best. The program doesn't start until, is it March 27th? I heard.
March 27th, yes,
Okay. So
but it would be good to pre-qualify everyone, making sure that they
yeah.
qualify for the loan
Okay.
based on
Yeah.
credit score and what have you. Yes.
Sure. Sure. So that way you're ready to go. We already have limited inventory as it is. So as a realtor and as a buyer's agent, when I'm representing buyers, I kind of sense that this might cause a little bit of a rush into the market, and we're already looking at a spring market It's
Yes.
very active right now in Monterey County, San Luis Obispo County is seeing it, Santa Cruz County, several, San Benito as well. And so we're seeing kind of a revival, and it's a typical trend that we see in the springtime,
Correct.
that we see. But, I think it's a great program. So for sellers, then, if you see one of these come across, it should be business as usual. Then is what we're
Business as usual.
expecting.
Not,
Wow.
yes. Yeah.
Except now you're actually looking at a 20% down qualified buyer.
That's it. That's it. So,
Okay.
so anyway,
That's
but
incredible.
yeah. Well, I sure am happy that you let me explain this program.
Yeah. Thank
According
you
to
for
the
doing it.
structure, there's a lot of rumors going out there that
Yeah.
says, how do they know that? Says we don't know that yet. So glad that we kind of
Okay.
were able to talk about this program.
Yeah. I'm just going to run through my notes here. Yes, we talked about everything there. Yeah. So that's great. I had all my questions covered actually as I was clicking them off as we were going. So that's excellent. David, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. I know you just went through the class at Loan Depot, and CalHFA got together to present to you all. So thank you for sharing this information. Like you said, dispelling a lot of the misconceptions of it or the rumors. This is what we know right now. If we have to, we'll do a follow-up video for this and get more information out there for us. But as of right now, CalHFA program, if you are a first-time buyer, this is a fantastic opportunity for a California buyer looking to get into the market. So, and again, David will have the conforming loan limits for income and dollar amounts, and I'll be sure on the recordings after this is live right now, but I'll put those in the links on the follow-up recording once these post to the different platforms that we're on. But thank you everybody for joining us, and David, thank you so much. This is really good information. It's going to help a lot of people. Really excited about this. Yep.
My pleasure.
All right. Take care.
Okay.